Everybody, welcome to
Drivers
the
to your
1988
car.
inaugural NASCAR New Year's Spectacular from the Daytona International Speedway here in Daytona Beach, Florida. This is really exciting as all these previous winners from the NASCAR Winston Cup season in 1988 come together for a $1 million exhibition shootout under the beautiful Florida sun here on the final day of the year 1988. This is going to be really fun. Phil Parsons shocks the crowd, gets the pole, running up next to Bill Elliott in the opening row. Darrell Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt make up row 2. Rusty Wallace and Ricky Rudd row 3. Terry Labonte and sorry guys, I had to look at the roster. And Terry Labonte make up Sterling Marlin, Terry Labonte, row 4, Bobby Allison in row 5. Nope. So, I will say, guys, because of the, as I previously mentioned, the 12 is actually a fill-in for, Davey Allison, because somehow the game stupidly doesn't keep him in there. But, he'll be lining up next to Dave Marcus in row number 5. Row number 6 is actually Dave Marcus. I am fucking this up horribly. Neil Bonnet is in row number 5. Dave Marcus lines up in row number 6 next to Ken Schrader. And rounding out the field, we got Jeffrey Bonine and Lake Speed. Sorry, it's fine. Remember the format, 80 laps. No green, white checker, none of that. 80 laps. Just straight shootout for $1 million. And small field, but should apply some big strategy when it comes to pitting, when it comes to just figuring out your lines and keeping up with the group. You don't want to fall apart. And if we'll ever get to the start here. Seems like a little bit of a technical delay on the officials' part trying to get this race started. There we go. Now as the field rolls around turn 3, getting ready to roll off. This should be a very successful event, a sellout crowd here in Daytona. Here to watch this amazing event. As the pace car pulls off. It goes down. Green flags in the air. And here we go from Daytona. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Phil Parsons controlling the field here. Darrell Waltrip moving in on the inside lane as Parsons moves up. Waltrip comes down, and he might try and go for the lead, or will Parsons try and cover and try and lead the opening lap of this new event? A lot of new events added to the schedule exhibition events this decade. You got the Clash back in 1980, and then the All-Star just a few years ago. Coming around to lead the first lap, looks like it'll be Darrell Waltrip, who will lead the opening lap from Daytona. Switch my camera angle to focus on him. Darrell Waltrip, the inaugural leader here in Daytona, at Rusty Wallace in the 27, a narrowing, almost crash. He comes down, helped from the 44 car. Ken Schrader off the pace in the back there. Rusty Wallace will come around and try and lead lap 2. Wallace had a good year in the 27 car. You see, it's a good mix, even though it's a small field, there is a good mix of up-front contenders week after week, some big names, and then also some smaller drivers who had some upset wins, getting themselves into this event to try and win $1 million and help out their small, possibly underfunded teams shoot themselves into next year. Rusty Wallace holding on steady here. Late lap 2, being in the sun, the track can be a little bit slick. Being the end of December is also pretty cold, so that'll play into it, but being an 80-lap race, there should be 1 to 2 pit stops, depending on when you place your pit stops. So it will be very interesting to see what they do there. As Wallace and the 44 car start to pull away a little bit here on the 3rd lap complete. So now we got to move for the lead. The 44 going to the inside. That is Sterling Marlin going to the lead here. Beautiful. Should make an honorable mention that Bobby Allison was supposed to make a start in this race due to his injury at Pocono. In June, he was unable to compete and has since retired from NASCAR. Hope he recovers well. Davey Allison, his son, in this race. As Rusty Wallace goes back to the lead, showing that he has some of the earlier speed here in this race. So now Wallace coming down, he's going to lead. He's leading now for the 2nd time today, completing 5 laps here at 80. And Dale Earnhardt, a restrictor plate legend, restrictor plate master. We're not showing a lot of early speed here. It's the last car on the outside line right now in that GM Goodwrench number 3. Brand new for 1988. Away from his Wrangler paint schemes they've been used to. More of an intimidating look, I'd say. As Marlin goes back underneath, he's going to go back to the lead in the 44 here. That inside lane definitely showing here early to be the faster line. Drivers getting a nice draft and jumping right to the inside to take the lead. So Marlin going to lead for the 2nd time today. That's the 3rd different leader. As drivers start to migrate up to the high line. Wallace hanging in tow in 2nd. A lot of line shuffling, not a lot of contact. Everybody kind of being pretty civil here early. They haven't raced in about a month since the championship in Atlanta. So everybody kind of just minding their P's and Q's here. Only had a small happy hour practice in the qualifying section. Everybody doing good, but also a lot of exciting racing, a lot of movement, a lot of action. As Wallace comes back to the lead, completes 7 laps. Darrell Waltrip, the leader of the opening lap, going to move into 2nd under the 11 of Terry Labonte. With Davey Allison right behind him, and Dave Marcus, followed by Rudd Earnhardt. We move back up to the high line. Now here comes Waltrip back to the inside. He's going to go for the lead. Help from Davey Allison. That tie number 17 tie. Allison with Rudd Earnhardt beginning to make some moves in that 3 car. Come around to complete 9 of 80. As it looks like Ricky Rudd going to the inside. He's going to try and take the lead for the first time today. Helping our pole sitter, Phil Parsons. So we got some 3 wide action in the back there. So Ricky Rudd, the 26 Quaker State car, leading for the first time today, helping our pole sitter, Phil Parsons, has come up on the 1/8 mark of this race. Important to not get too far of a draft out from the field as they kind of have here. But side-by-side racing behind them, that would help. Starting to fill out single file though. Interesting to see what Bill Elliott might do in that 9 car, starting on the outside pole. Currently now going for 3rd. As they come up on a lap car here really quickly, that's Lake Speed in the 83 car. Way off the draft. And he is really slow when it gets contact even possibly. Holding up the group and bringing them back together as Parsons is shuffled to the outside line and Elliott moves in with Earnhardt on the inside behind Rudd. Lake Speed just had no idea where to go, falling a lap down. So here comes Earnhardt to the inside. He's going to go for 2nd. Sterling Marlin making the move now as Neil Bonner on the 75 as well. Coming around to complete 11 laps here in Daytona. Marlin moving back to the car. A huge shake up there. Everybody did a job to avoid Lake Speed from any contact or cause any wreck. Only 14 cars in this race. Hard chances that there'll be a big one as they come up on another car. Jeff Bodine in the 5. It looks like it might set. Oh my god, look at that. Sterling Marlin setting a huge pick there. And he's going to go all the way to the lead. And Rudd gets held up, allowing Marlin to pull away. But he's all by himself. How long will it take for the group to eat him up as they complete 12 laps now? Earnhardt moves into 2nd with Rudd behind, with no Elliott behind him. Then Parsons, then Rudd. Bodine a lap down now as well. Just worries how long it will take now to eat up that gap that Marlin has created by setting that pick on Bodine. That was a huge, huge move. Here comes Elliott, Parsons, and Earnhardt now. Gonna start making some moves. Elliott gonna try to make an outside pass. No. Parsons to the bottom. He's gonna go for 2nd and possibly more. We got a 2nd group of 4 cars coming up behind him. Lead them. Coming up now, 14 laps complete. As Rusty Wallace and Darrell Waltrip eat up from the group. Terry Bonnie coming back, as well as Neil Bonnet. Earnhardt stuck on the outside. That's Ken Schrader there on the 25 as Marlin sets another big pick. And he's going to get that gap back as Schrader just holds on to this position and sticks to the inside, killing the momentum that the leaders had, except for Marlin, all the way out there by himself. Problem is now he's all by himself and he's so slow, so once they eventually do clear Schrader, which they did, so now they're going to have to worry about what may happen then. But Starling Marlin, F44 car, showing some speed. Here comes Rusty Wallace, led by Terry Labonte, who has yet to lead today in that Bud number 11. Yeah, see how quickly they're eating up that gap now. I'm going to settle in right behind them, though. Not going to try and make too many erratic moves. Still got over 60 laps to go in the race. Rusty Wallace looks like he's going to go back to the bottom. Help from Neil Bonnet and Ricky Rudd. Bonnet also get the lead in that 75 car. Rudd has led today. And these are all the lead lap cars. Three drivers lap down: Schrader, Bodine, and Lake Speed, leaving the 11 front leaders being the lead lap cars. As Ricky Rudd goes back to the lead on the 26. Huge run, help from Darrell Waltrip. He's going to go back to the lead as Wallace sets in third in front of Dave Marcus. As here comes Waltrip to the bottom, Darrell going to go to the lead. It just seems like everybody, when they make a pass, is going to the inside to do so. And then they kind of like creep up to the high line. It must be hard to have grip on that inside. Because nobody's really being able to hold that line. See Wallace coming back to the lead now on 27. He is probably the fastest car out here so far. Probably the favorite to win here. Look who's coming up behind him. That black Goodwrench number 3, Dale Earnhardt. Help from Bill Elliott. The outside line has help, but it's proved to not be very fast. Sterling Marlin, who's also showed a lot of speed today. Fourth in that inside line is Elliott's going to go under Earnhardt. He's going to get turn one, as Darrell Waltrip still currently has the lead, holding strong on that outside line. There's some 3 wide action. Just a beautiful, bright, sunny day for this as well. Makes it some great racing action. It's like 3 wide, 2 abreast right there. Great for Wallace, who is now cleared for the lead with Marlin behind him, and the pole sitter Phil Parsons struggled at that start of the race, but has came back and he's holding on in this lead group. Coming up now will be the quarter mark. Next lap, next time by will be 1 quarter complete here in the inaugural Spectacular from Daytona International Speedway. Who will lead it? There's no prize money for leading any other segment of the race other than the last lap, but It's always important to try and lead. No bonus points or anything, but it's always nice to lead, especially if you really haven't led much all season, or haven't led much at Daytona. Winning at Daytona is such a big accomplishment nowadays, and especially for some of these drivers who normally don't run up front. Some of these older drivers maybe don't run up front as much anymore. It's important to fight with these big guys and show that you've got speed. As Phil Parsons, the pole sitter, for the first time today leading a lap, leads the quarter mark lap. We are 1/4 of the way done with this race. And he becomes the race's 4th different leader. Bill Elliott tucked behind him. They come up again to lap Lake speed. He's in dead last, 14th. He will go 2 laps down here. What makes it interesting is you got the dual races, the All-Star, and the Clash that are also eligible winning races to get into this event, meaning that some of the underdogs could possibly get in. It kind of shakes it up and see if they can have speed, keep up with the draft, and obviously that'll show at Lake speed. He just never was able to keep up with the draft, and thus has now gone 2 laps down, and that takes him all but out of contention, still being 2 drivers ahead of him, both still just lapped down. And the fact only 14 cars, cautions are probably not going to be that frequent. We are still caution-free through 21 laps here in Daytona. But again, with that lap car setting a huge pick, Parsons, Elliott, and Neil Bonnet pulled away. Really far away from the rest of the group. They are nearly all alone here. Phil Parsons continues to lead. Now the group getting single file after clearing Lake speed, starting to eat up some ground again, it looks like. Led by Shirley Marlin in 4th. Bill Elliott, one of the early favorites, qualified 2nd with one of the faster cars in practice, yet to lead a lap. He's right there again in 2nd. That's the highest he's been all day. Come around and complete 23 laps here in Daytona. You see some action going back there in the back group of cars. These guys staying single file for now is probably the best option for them. Just do what they need to do. Bill Elliott not playing a little bit conservative here, trying to not make a move, trying not to lose the ground that he's already got. And Neil Bonnet, even with no drafting help, still trying to stay in the wake of the lead too, and he's doing a pretty good job of it so far. We're coming up about 10-15 laps, we should see green flag pit stops. Maybe a little bit later, some drivers trying to hold on, trying to draft, maybe use less fuel, just trying to make it on 1 pit stop in this race, being only 80 laps. As they come up on Jeff Bodine again, he's in 13th, about to go 2 laps down. He lost the draft early as well. Oh, and that's going to slow the 55 down as Neil Bonnet's going to go to the inside of Elliott for 2nd, and that is going to bring everybody back together possibly. Parsons still holding on to the lead, but Bonnet's going to go to 2nd as Darrell Waltrip and Ricky Rudd come back up into the group. Elliott's going to duck down and hold on to 3rd. Roughly 25 laps. 25 down. 55 laps to go. 3 wide for 2nd. Neil Bonnet way out of the line. Darrell Waltrip to second. This is by far the longest train of laps led that I think we've seen all day by Phil Parsons, thanks to that late speed holdup that pretty much took out the whole group. Now this is going to come to an end. Darrell Waltrip going to the inside. He's going to go to the lead. There's that 27 again. Rusty Wallace led by Ricky Rudd on the inside. As the whole field back together again. Now we still got Ken Schrader, who's a lap down in 12th position. They're going to have to deal with eventually. Unless he has retired from the race. Here comes Wallace back to the inside. He's definitely got a strong car. He's having trouble holding the lead. This is already the 4th time he has taken the lead today. But he's going to lose it right there again. As here comes Ricky Rudd at the bottom with again Phil Parsons and Sterling Marlin as well. He has yet to lead. So is Dale Earnhardt. That's a huge surprise. Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott, two of the early favorites, yet to lead today. And really from Earnhardt, really haven't seen much speed like we anticipated. Dave Marcus starting to fall out of the draft. It's the last car on the lead lap, in 11th. Now completing 28 laps here in Daytona as they come up on Ken Schrader, who is very slow in that Folgers number 25 car. And that's going to shake Marlin out of second with Bonte to second. That's the highest he's been all day, with Bill Elliott again in the 9 car. Right there in 3rd. Earnhardt and Parsons also held up on that outside line. They complete 29 laps. 51 still to go. Long way still to go in this race, and still no caution. 3 wide. Wallace going to stick in the middle, but Waltrip's going to have the run to the inside. He's going to go to second as the group starts to bunch up again. Waltrip back up front, but he's going to have a challenge to the inside as he slides up. Here comes Rusty Wallace, though. Darrell Waltrip might lead the lap. Ooh, it was close, but Waltrip does lead the lap. And now Wallace going to go back to the lead. Neil Bonnet, the 75, coming back as well. Davey Allison, hasn't seen much of that 28 car either today. He's holding strong as they once again come up the late lap, lake speed. Here comes Waltrip back to the bottom, but Rusty's going to come down to cover. Now he's going to go to the outside. Who is he going to go with? And he's going to do the right move. Wallace hangs on, and Waltrip hung up on the inside as Ricky Rudd comes to take second spot. They're going to run away with it as Rudd comes down. He's going to try and take the lead. It will be Wallace leading the lap, or Rudd taking the spot. Lake Speed now going 3 laps down, providing a huge nuisance to these leaders. We are getting close to what will be green flag pit stops. I do believe that they may have to do this in 2 stops instead of 1, should, if this race does run green, to provide some interesting strategy at the end when it comes to green flag pit stops. Now 32 laps down. Now's a good time to point out one of our main sponsors, EA Sports. If you like overpriced games and pay to win, play EA Sports. Remember today's main sponsors, along with other big main sponsors, of course, Winston, big sponsor today in NASCAR. And of course, all of our big sponsors on the cars today, including Quaker State, Tide, Green Wrench, but many others. As Darrell Waltrip goes back to the bottom, definitely seeing a structure of drivers who are definitely showing speed here, really. There he is in the black GM Goodwrench number 3. Dale Earnhardt moving into second spot on the inside under Darrell Waltrip. Now going to get a challenge from Sterling Marlin. Sterling Marlin's going to break him up again. Marlin, he's definitely been one of the underdog contenders today, showing a lot of speed in that 44 car. Oh, and we have a pull off the pit road. Terry Labonte going to pit road. This is the first round of green flag pit stops on the 34th lap. But he is all alone. See if this is a routine stop. It's getting close. Getting close to green flag pit stop time, and there he goes. Yep, this is a routine pit stop for the 11 team. And this is going to fuel some other drivers to start coming down pit road, but still 66 laps to go. 46 laps to go, I mean. There is a lot of time left, and they're definitely going to be able to pit stop if they pit now. We'll see how far these other drivers try and stretch it. Dale Earnhardt not going to stretch it. He's heading to pit road in the 3 car. But again, he's all by himself. Nobody diving down with him. Very, very interesting strategy. No drivers diving down in groups. Being 11 lead lap cars still. Now the front 5 here, continuing to run up front. And there goes another big group. That's going to be much of the front 3. Including one of the fastest cars today, Rusty Wallace, Sterling Marlin, and Ricky Rudd all pitting together. This is more characteristic, like they'll have a nice draft group to come out of pit road together with. And all their pit stalls conveniently right next to each other. They're going to pit road pretty easily. Like Bill Elliott and Neil Bonnet also coming down in this group, but they'll come out a little bit later because they came in later. So a 5-car group pitting there as they lap Jeff Bodine again. Waltrip and Phil Parsons as the 2 leaders. Still yet to stop, 36 laps down, and here they come. Along with Bodine. This is your leader, folks, Darrell Waltrip. Coming down pit road. With what is now 42 laps to go. So this will guarantee that these drivers will have to make another green flag pit stop. If we go caution free, they're going to be about 4 laps short if they continue to run how they are running. See if we can find some more drivers starting to come down pit road. There's Wallace right there. He's the leader of the drivers that have stopped. Or maybe not. Here's Sterling Marlin in the 44 car. He can catch up to Darrell Waltrip. Looks like he will. Then he will have the lead coming out of this session of green flag pit stops. And it looks like he'll try and make a pass in the outside, but now he's going to cut back to the bottom. It'll be Waltrip that gets the lap, but Marlin's got the momentum, and he's going to go to the lead. Wallace, Terry Lamonti, Dale Earnhardt, Ricky Rudd also coming back there as well. Phil Parsons unable to keep up in the lead draft. It looks like we get out of the green flag pit stop cycle and see these drivers now really beginning to show their speed. As Wallace goes back to the bottom, he's going to go to the lead. Dale Earnhardt making a move under Terry Lamonti. To see if did he survive? He was the first one to come on pit road. Looks like he was able to stay on the lead lap though. Risky move as Dale Earnhardt also came down alone. Usually a devastating move when you come down alone. And Bill Elliott looks like he has some problems, had to come back down pit road. Tire problem, loose lug nut. Even a pit penalty. Devastating for the 9 team. They will go a lap down. They had a pretty fast car and one that looks like they were trying to get ready to gear up for the second half of the race as we do approach the halfway lap here in Daytona. And Rusty Wallace characteristically here pretty deserving to lead this halfway lap, and he will with Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte, 2 drivers that have yet to lead today in tow. So Labonte moves into second. Has now completing, we're now to 30, with 39 laps to go. It'll be interesting to see if drivers are going to try and stretch this to make it a one-stop race using the draft. Some of those drivers that came down early, Terry Labonte, he came down early with still 47 laps to go. Hard to make it a 47 lap stretch on a tank of gas. Some other drivers came down with 42 to go. They're going to be a little bit better of a boat. And lapping Lake Speed, showing no issue that time, however, to the leaders. splitting him right down the middle. The interesting part here will be to see who is able to survive. They all pitted at different times. Many of them will come down in the same group. So they'll be having to pit again in different spurts, but a caution would throw that completely out the window. Because I think they are within the window where they can make it on one more stop, but since they just did stop. And look at this, Terry Labonte. For the first time today, he will lead in that Budweiser number 11. But quickly going to slide up to the outside. That will open the door for Sterling Marlin on the bottom. Will he come down to cover? Yes, he will. Impressive cover on Labonte's part, holding on to the lead. Maybe now he's going to start showing some speed. He is one of the drivers that is not very good on gas. Probably not a good idea to lead on his part, but and another driver who has yet to lead today, Dale Earnhardt, moving into second spot. And the 4 drivers behind him have been by far probably the 4 fastest cars today. And yep, Labonte unable to cover. Earnhardt's going to come to the inside. He's going to go see the front for the first time today. Maybe not. No drafting help, only Ricky Rudd. Will Labonte try and cover? Yes, he will. He will make the cover. Still holding on to the lead. Labonte playing some excellent defense right now. With one of the best restricted plate racers in the business behind him. As they come up to lap Ken Schrader for just the second time today. 2-3 laps down. And another easy cover there. Darrell Waltrip was in the third. But Sterling Marlin and Rusty Wallace held up behind him. And that puts Rudd in fourth. Four-car inside line lead here, down to 35 laps to go in Daytona. And some interesting pit strategies have put us in this position as they once again come up to the lap. Guess who? Lake Speed. Pretty poor outing on Lake Speed's part, if I do say so much. Nope, this is not Lake Speed. That is Dave Marcus. Looks like he'll be going lap down for the first time today. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt also coming up front. He's going to lead for the first time today as they go under Dave Marcus, who was in the front draft for a while. But Dale Earnhardt, restrictor plate legend, champion, out front. First time today, he's going to have a big gap. Dave Marcus held up the rest of them pretty substantially. Ricky Rudd there in the 26. Moving into second. Nope. Terry Labonte going to go to the bottom. He's coming back. He's going to go into second right behind Earnhardt. So Earnhardt leads another lap. With Dave Marcus holding his own here. It's only a lap down. That's a caution. And here comes Terry Labonte. He's going to go back to the bottom. Go to the lead. 30 laps to go. We got 32 to go now. And he's 5. He's front 5. Now Dave Marcus, the lead group here, 6. And the rest of the leaders going to probably need a caution if they're going to get back into it at this point. Let's come up left. Jeff Bodine again. Holding his own there. Jeff Bodine going to hold his own on the front of the field. Now Labonte's going to come cut low. Bunched everybody up though. Earnhardt stuck on the outside. The other 4 moving in on the bottom. Labonte now has a pretty substantial gap. It's Waltrip and Rudd. Now Wallace back in the mix in the 27 car. .30 laps to go here in Daytona. It's Labonte, Wallace, Waltrip, Rudd. In front 4. Earnhardt kind of out of the mix now, along with Dave Marcus, who was only a lap down. Comes Wallace back to the inside, going for the lead. Rusty Wallace fans happy with his performance today. He has been doing really well in that Kodak number 27. Led the most laps, I think, so far today. Right up there. Kind of getting a gap now built to come up again. Guess who? That's Lake Speed for sure in the 83 car. Easy pass there for Wallace. He's got Terry Labonte in tow. But an easy pass for the 4 leaders there. Now 28 laps to go. Getting down to it here. Kind of starting to spill out. You know, Waltrip and Ricky Rudd losing the draft. This may help Terry Labonte going to the inside. Remember, he's on one of those lower fuel lines right now. Going to the lead. He's going to try to on the inside. Still bring Waltrip and Rudd some opportunity to get back into this. Waltrip, another one of the faster cars out here today. Looking to get a result to show for it. Be the inaugural winner of this race. And remember, you win one of these races, you're locked into all future events that you choose to race in. The only requirement is that you have to race at least one regular time exhibition race prior to be eligible. And so, winning one of these is huge for some of these drivers who may not, who are on contract issues, may not have a ride for next year. Drivers who maybe don't know if they can get a win next year. Really good way to get into this race. And now we're already in. Just win it. Come down now, 26 laps to go. It has been, even though still no cautions, it has been pretty tight and intense otherwise. A lot of switching around positions, not a lot of single file drafting. Definitely kicking out 1988 with a bang. Here comes Wallace back to the inside, simultaneously almost Ricky Rudd going for third on Waltrip. It will be Labonte leading the lap just slightly, with Wallace going to the lead now on the bottom. 25 laps to go now. Now the front four kind of grouping up. Darrell Waltrip a little bit out of the draft, but seeming to hold on. Now 24 laps to go. And remember, most if not all these drivers are going to need a pit stop. Terry Labonte definitely going to need a pit stop. He pitted really early. So how will that shake up everything is to be determined. Interesting moves coming out here. Kind of just running single file. If I were Labonte, I'd be consistently sitting right there trying to save as much gas as possible. So that way you're able to pit with the rest of the leaders, because you are for sure going to have to pit. There's no way he's going to be able to save 7 laps of fuel at Daytona. The important part for him is to just sit there, save enough gas to where he can pit with the rest of the leaders who pitted later. Because it's easier to save just a couple of laps than a whole 7. And that would at least keep him in contention for the race. But again, barring a caution flag, coming up on 22 laps to go, drivers are all within this window. Those are mostly, at least the leaders for the most part, are going to stick it out and try and just get a yellow and then come down during caution time. And if they run out that they pit at the end, creates a lot more suspense. It's going to be a good finish if that's the case. 22 laps to go. As they come up to lap Ken Schrader again. Oh, yeah, disappointing for some of the other leaders. Bill Elliott a lap down from a pit issue. Dale Earnhardt out of the draft. Phil Parsons, our pole sitter, who had a few laps today. Sterling Marlin, who seemed to have one of the faster cars, taken out of contention at the end with that Lake Speed incident. So he's out of the draft. So a lot of those drivers either hoping for a caution or multiple. Try and get their lap back or just get back into the race in general. But a good day for Rusty Wallace, who stayed out of trouble and been able to hold on to this lead for the most part. Another good day for Ricky Rudd. Darrell Waltrip, both of them led some good amount of laps today. And there's our pole sitter, Phil Parsons, about to go a lap down in the 55 car. Oh, and he's going to set a pick. Wallace going to clear on the outside. The rest of them not so much. Phil Parsons, what are you doing? Trying to block. And that's going to give Wallace a huge lead, and that's going to kill Terry Labonte as well. He's not going to have a draft of anybody anymore. until he gets back up to Wallace and help that this hurts his fuel consumption strategy. Now 20 laps to go. And Ricky Rudd's still stuck behind Parsons in the 55, who had some earlier speed. Lost the draft to see if he has that speed still. To be able to hang on with these guys does not look like it, though. So now it's Wallace, Labonte, and then Waltrip top three going along here. As they come up left, Jeff Bodine again in the 5. Oh, and a severe cut there by Wallace. Hangs on. And an easy pass that time of the 5 car. All of them. Parsons looks like he might be able to hang on here. Provide some extra drafting. $29 to go. 19 to go. 19 to go. Under 20 laps to go. On guess who? Lake Speed. Oh, and a severe slowdown. Everybody took right in behind the 83 instead of passing. Now it's going to get dicey as Labonte's going to go to the lead. Parsons as well. Going to the inside. That's going to shake it up huge. And actually, it's going to be pretty devastating for the 11 car. Now he has the lead. Unable to conserve fuel. But he has a lap car behind him. But Wallace and Waltrip held up. Ricky Rudd's going to move to second. Devastating for Rusty Wallace. Will he be able to catch back up? Or is that going to spell doom for the 2017? One of the fastest cars out there today. Now back in 4th spot with just 18 laps to go. And out of the lead group, which now just consists of the leader, Terry Labonte, and Ricky Rudd in second with Phil Parsons, the lap car. Devastating, devastating blow up on the 2017 and the 17 for sure. Both of them had fast cars, led a lot of laps, hung up front. Have to get it back with either a caution or a slow pit stop on one of these guys' parts. Now 17 laps to go. Wallace moved back to 3rd, it looks like, with Waltrip in 4th. A clear lap car. That's another problem with this race going all consistently green, is the fact of the lap cars. A lot of drivers, didn't get off to a good start. Lake Speed they didn't have the speed that the other drivers had. They lost their route, they lost their position, and then it breaks up the leaders. Now the leaders are starting to fall a lap down, falling out of the draft. It shakes up the entire complexity of this race. Makes it so you have to be very finite, very perfect. Bring it down to only a few competitors that are actually in contention to win this race. It looks like Rusty Wallace, that's great cars, fast. He's been able to catch back up. In 3rd place, Darrell Waltrip not so lucky in the 17 car. Almost without a caution, he's probably done when it comes to contention, but Rusty Wallace is going to try and hang on. By far the fastest car today. Moving underneath Parsons. And now right up to Ricky Rudd. He is not going to go down without a fight. Knowing that Labonte has to make a pit stop. With what will probably be coming up in 15 laps to go. If Labonte can only go 32, 33 laps on tank gas, he is going to have to pit very, very soon. But that 27 car is fast, going right underneath the 26 of Ricky Rudd. For second, now creeping on the 11 car for the lead. And he's going to go underneath too. Here he goes. Rusty Wallace, what a comeback. Going underneath. He is going to go to the lead. Coming up on 14 laps to go. We are getting down to the nitty-gritty. And there he goes, Terry the Bunny, down to pit road. His race all but over, unless 14 laps to go, and he is in to the pits. The early strategy failed him. Had a good car. Showed some late speed, but he's going to need a caution to stay in this one. And now back to 2 leaders. Rusty Wallace on a huge comeback. Ricky Rudd and Phil Parsons, a lapped car, making up this lead group. And now, who else comes down pit road? So Dale Earnhardt was the second driver to pit. He's not in this lead group anymore. Now we gotta see when these guys are going to pit. They are unsure if they can make it. See, Dale Earnhardt, Davey Allison coming off the pit road. So they're unable to make it. If they're unable to make it to the checkered flag on this tank of gas, when do they pit? They are the 2 leaders. They need to figure that out. So now we're getting suspenseful. Rusty Wallace clears the threat of falling out of the draft, now needs to worry about fuel in a race that he has been very, very fast in. When does he make that final pit stop as well? As Red falls in behind Parsons, that could be a strategy move to save some gas. 12 laps to go now. There's Sterling Marlin pulling off pit road. Now Red going back to the bottom. And stay behind the 55 car for long. He has to make sure he doesn't lose the draft to Wallace either. That would all but hand Rusty Wallace the win. Again, though, barring a caution flag. But that, depending on the magnitude of the caution, you don't want to end the race under caution either. Just have to see what happens here. We're coming up on 11 laps to go. I anticipate Wallace and Rudd coming down about 7-6 laps to go. Got 11 to go now. Coming down 10 laps to go. What a race this has been. A lot of shuffling, a lot of strategy. Still staying out. Now they come up on Darrell Waltrip. Had a fast car, led a lot of laps, but he is going to go a lap down here from the leaders. Rusty Wallace. Oh, he's going to come up and try to side draft. I don't know what the strategy was there. Those two do have a slight rivalry. Going back to that All-Star race incident. But no cigar. And here we go, pit stops. The leaders coming back down pit road. Parsons and Waltrip going to get their lap back. Wallace and Rudd, the 2 leaders, coming down pit road. This is going to be coming with 9 laps to go. 9 laps to go. You just have to remember now, execution is going to be huge here. They pit right next to each other. Quick and easy fuel stop. Execution perfect on both ends, and Wallace can come back out with the lead. As drivers pull around, these are just drivers getting their laps back. One or their only lap or one of their laps. Should be a pretty simple merge back onto the racetrack. And now it's a shootout. With 9 to go, coming to 8 to go when they fully get up to speed. Rusty Wallace, who's had the fastest car all day long, and Ricky Rudd, who has hung up there for much of the day, and has led some laps. Now they're going to be the two to duke it out here at the end. And there he goes, Ricky Rudd right to the bottom. Wallace leads the lap, but Rudd. Now they're side by side. Oh, hold on, man. Who's leading? We have a new leader. This is the race for the win, though. We have a new leader, but this is the race for the win. I'll have to check up and see that. Oh, and Bodine holding up Wallace, taking him out. Oh, man. Rudd to run away with it. Now he's just got to catch up to whoever's still leading. With now 7 to go. Coming up on Phil Parsons again. Gets held up. Now he's going to try and cut to the bottom. Parsons going to block. 6 to go. Ricky Rudd. And Rusty Wallace back in this. Got held up by Parsons, and now this is a race again as Rudd officially holds the lead. Will Wallace have enough to try and make a move? Coming to 5 laps to go. Does Wallace have anything left? He's right on the bumper. Phil Parsons acting as draft potential. The lap car in the 55. Oh, and Wallace shoved out of the line. Parsons, a lapped car, shows Wallace the fastest car of the day out of line. And Rudd now has comfort. 4 laps to go. we have a lap car coming up here. This is Ken Schrader. Wallace is held up on the bottom. Another devastating blow for the 27 car. Now a huge gap. 3 laps to go for Ricky Rudd. A devastating blow for Rusty Wallace. And that's all but spelled doom for the 27 team. The fastest car all day. Held up by lap traffic twice inside of 10 laps to go. After a pretty superb pit stop to keep him out front. Two to go. The only driver that's riding behind him now, Phil Parsons. A lapped car. Wallace all by himself. Gonna need a mistake on the 26 car to get back into this or win it. These two duked it out as the opponents around them dwindled down the longer the run ran out. Phil Parsons probably not going to make any moves. Doesn't really need to. Can ride right behind the 26. No competition around him as they come around to take the white flag. This is it. The last lap in Daytona for Ricky Rudd. Trying to win. Be the inaugural champion of the New Year's Eve Spectacular at Daytona. No competition around him. And just now 3/4 of a lap to go. This will lock him in to all future New Year's Eve Spectacular events throughout his career. Plus $1 million added to his bank account. And what was a suspenseful race, for sure. Coming down to the checkered flag, and it's over. Ricky Rudd wins the inaugural 1988 New Year's Eve Spectacular from Daytona. Rusty Wallace, heartbreaking, finishes second. But what a race. Caution free, lots of strategy. And, wow. Whew. And what a bang to end off 1988 with, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to all who tuned into this race. And I can't wait to do this again next year. For 1989, Ricky Rudd will be there. But who else will be there? You'll find out all the course in 1989. But of course, enjoy the remaining hours of this 1988 year. Celebrate, party, have fun, especially if you're a Ricky Rudd fan. We'll see you all again down here next December. Ricky Rudd again will be here, but who else will? We'll see you then. We are signing off. Goodbye.